technology is evolving so quickly. Like, it's just so difficult to keep up. How can HVAC companies help facility managers compete with that?
So I think part of it as an HVAC company is really understanding your customer and where they are, right? And then understanding where they are and then meeting them there. So if you think about a lot of facilities today, they have a lot of legacy hardware, right?
Yes.
And so you have legacy hardware, but you're also wanting to run modern software on it. So how do you make that transition? How do you help them migrate and evolve their systems? I think as a product manager, it's my responsibility or my job to essentially help design systems that will help them, modernize their systems over the long run, right? So being able to continue to leverage their existing systems and to their maximum capacity while giving kind of that migration plan so that they can evolve over time into that more modern system.
Yeah.
And if I can add, it's mainly education, training, hand-holding, also evolving with the generations, right?
Yes.
What may work with the younger generation. So being able to understand what resonates with the audience that we're working with may also be a way to kind of transition and shift the technology, evolving technology that's happening with facility managers. So proper training, education, hand-holding, listening
Yes.
to what they really want, and understanding the customer problems from Lena's point or some.
For sure.
Yeah, and I'd follow up on that with, like Leona said, so on the product side, what they do is they do brilliant things. So the old stuff that we're taking out now is N2, but you have the new backlit products. But what you can do is you can take those products and you can downgrade them to an N2, so you can get the new equipment.
Got it.
And you can phase it. And then when you get to a certain percentage, then you can change the wire out and get it the faster and stuff. So you don't have to do everything at once.
Right.
But they designed the products to backwards engineer and then they go back up.
Yeah. So you can upgrade, but just without, putting out so much like an outlay.
It's not like a rip and replace, right?
Yeah.
It's a strategy.
Yeah. And I suppose gone are the days where you set up a system and you let it go for 10 years. Those ones don't happen anymore. There's so much evolution in technology. So that's great.
And mainly around software, right? The hardware itself doesn't normally change a
Yeah.
whole lot. So it's about, think about your phone, how many times you get upgrades and new apps and new features that you keep learning about. And it's thinking about enabling to how you can make your life easy.
Totally.
And enabling that is the main theme nowadays.
Yeah.
How
That's
can
a great.
I save time?
Yeah.
How can I be more effective?
Yeah.
And how can I be more productive? And I can make more money.
Definitely. All of those things. Yeah, that's a great analogy. Yeah. Awesome. So, what technologies do you guys think are going to dominate in building automation in the next few years?
AI is going to be a big thing.
Totally.
In AI specifically, it's going to be all about managing data. How do you use that data for trend, for diagnostics, for reducing costs and service calls, and improving productivity.
Definitely.
Cloud computing, edge devices, IoT, that's going to be the next big thing where, instead of having like a 3 to 4 layer architecture, can you have a 2-layer architecture wherever it's applicable, right? When you don't have an extremely complex system, can you just have a controller and a field device and that talks to the ecosystem? So that's going to be another big one. Cybersecurity and compliance with all of this data floating around in cloud, that's going to be a big picture too. It's about how do you safely and securely feel confident that your data is protected, people don't hack into your systems, your thermostats suddenly don't start heating instead of cooling. So those in my opinion are going to be the big technology trends
For sure.
truly that's going to evolve in the next few years.
That's great. Yeah.
Well, the other thing is the technology is there now, but we're going to adapt it too. We're trying to make people do home building solutions.
Yes.
So, you don't log in one system for your HVAC, one system for your fire alarm security, one system for your cameras, lighting, all that stuff. It's a building. It's all technology. You can put it under envelope.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to have 6 different.
Yeah, you get a big picture over everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. I love that because it's going to allow people to act proactively, right? Rather than waiting for a problem to happen, you can maybe see that that problem is going to arise and you can act on that.
Well, yeah, the software is there now where you actually have field detection devices. So it'll tell you, hey, this is, you're starting to get clogged here. It's going down.
Yeah.
It used to maintain this, now it's having, it takes this much more to maintain it.
Yeah.
So you're having problems. Look at your post.
Right.
Is it this? Is it that? It'll give you reasons of what's wrong with it. And so you can maintain it
Yeah.
properly, maintenance.
Yeah, I think that can avoid a lot of unnecessary problems and
Big costs.
losses. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Awesome. Great. Let's see. How can companies avoid investing systems that are going to become obsolete?
I think part of it is looking at system that provides flexibility, not necessarily that it has this new shiny feature, right?
Yeah.
But a system that has flexibility. And one of the things that we kind of touched on before with Johnson Controls and our products is that backward compatibility,
Yeah.
right? So I know as a product manager, we're always looking at, we have a lot of customers with a large install base, right? We have a large install base where they have our systems, and how do we make sure that their investment is not, in a few years they have to rip it out and replace it, right? So
Yeah.
that's something that, again, looking for a company that has a reputation like Johnson Controls that are supporting our customers,
Yeah.
looking at that backward compatibility and making sure that we're able and we're creating solutions that allow our customers to migrate, right? To continue migrating and continue to develop those solutions that help them bring them forward.
Yeah, that's so important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other piece I would say is retrofit kitting.
Yeah.
Providing stuff that can easily help to modernize the equipment by keeping the older stuff, right? So it's like, how can we create retrofit kits? How can we use the mechanical conversion, like electromechanical, the whole conversion stages, rather than going all the way from purely being a mechanical to full digital,
Yeah.
when the infrastructure may or may not be there for the system. So that's the phasing element that we talked about earlier
Right.
as well.
Yeah.
But enabling that through retrofit kits, through some sort of, backward compatibility when you talk software, but when you talk product, it's really the adapters, the features and functionalities in terms of the physical product itself that you can connect and make the system work
Yeah.
overall.
So you can ease into it.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Make people comfortable.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So they're not scared.
Big changes.
Yes.
Yeah, awesome. I mean, I think the first job I ever worked on, ironically, was the high school I graduated from. And I did that job 2001. And then I went back 20 years later.
Yeah.
And I was opening the door and it still had my original
No way.
design. So I gotta actually rip my own stuff out that I did when I was a
Yeah.
baby.
Little startup.
little starter. Wasn't even 21 yet. So and then 20 years later I gotta go back and do it. And the equipment still worked. It still worked. We just had to modernize it. But
Yeah.
we also gotta do it. They didn't have to whole building whip out at one time, still face it.
Yeah. It's a much better way to do it.
Yeah.
That's like established. Yeah, that's great. So, as a female in the industry, we're all lucky to be here, I think. Tell me, what is the competitive advantage of what value that you guys bring to women in this field?
I think that is, we bring a different perspective. Like,
Yes.
Everybody, we all know 2 + 2 is 4, right? But we know we can get to 4 a million other ways. And we try to make people look at those ways.
Yes.
We're not, we know we're going to get there. We're all going to get there. But we don't have to use that one approach. We don't have to limit yourself. And we all have different perspectives. And we all have different, how we grew up, how we, our ethics and our things. But it's just that change.
Definitely.
When I started, this year I'll be 25 years in the industry. When I started, I was lucky there was one other woman on the field with me.
Yeah.
And so it's nice and it's good to look at. It's powerful. And when you're passionate about something, everybody sees it.
Definitely. Yeah. That's great.
And I would add, I think, in all of our roles, we have to have a really customer-centric mindset, right? And I think just as a woman, naturally, communication, empathy, and that perspective of being able to see the different mindsets, whether it's with engineering, a customer, or anyone else a stakeholder that you're engaging with, I think that's something that we bring to the table just naturally. Right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And the other thing I talked to some of my male colleagues today, and I asked them about their perspective of what they thought about women in HVAC. And it was interesting because I think the HVAC industry has evolved so much in the last 25 years.
Yeah.
What used to be a heavy mechanical oriented job now has different facets.
Definitely.
It's not all about the mechanical installation anymore. It's not just about going on top of the roof and installing something, but it's about the controls. It's about the software, a lot of IT and infrastructure. So even the type of jobs that are in HVAC have changed so much that has enabled women to, hey, tell me more. And then, folks like Pam, who started probably in the field, have, had opportunities to work in other areas, and vice versa too.
Yeah.
But people who may have started in sales and engineering may say, hey, I may probably want to go in the field and do application engineer for a couple of years. So I think there's a lot of value to that as well with the evolving industry changes that we're seeing.
Yeah. And it's cool to see what you individually, how you can impact the industry, and how, this industry has become completely essential. Like, we cannot live our lives without cooling, right? So it's cool to be part of that. Yeah. I love the different perspective. I've had a few people on my followers, they'll say like, oh, I've worked on the same stuff that you worked on for the last 25 years, but you bring a different perspective and I never thought of it from that side. So that's cool. Awesome. So I only have one question left. But given your years of service in this industry, what do you think has been the biggest and most impactful change that you have seen driving this industry?
Accepting differences, that is it. Well, the other thing is we all love everybody. She said you go out, you buy a new phone almost every year. Everybody loves the flashy stuff, right? But we're customer centric. So when we go to the site, we have specs, we have to follow, we have plans, we have to follow. But we're going to sell them what they need. Not necessarily yes, I would love to drive a Porsche. Not really. I'm terrible at driving a Porsche. I probably wreck it in my clutch. Maybe bad plan. And I can't even drive a go-kart. But, we're going to give you what you need.
Yeah, no bells and whistles. Unless you want them. Yeah.
I'll make that pretty picture. That's the great thing about it. You have a front end, you have a graphic. So you can get all the bells and whistles in there. Yeah. But what you need is what you get. But you also leave the ability to get more. Yeah. You don't all have to buy it up front either.
Leave it open.
Yeah. You gotta keep that different open perspective and mindset.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome.
I haven't spent a lot of time in HVAC in general, but I also come from a very heavy, I would say, automotive and appliance world where women in general are few. So I think overall the impact is, I really like how Liana mentioned, we bring in an element of empathy, listening, adapting, being open, and bringing people together. Because a lot of times what we do in families and, bringing, consoling kids or family members, it's all about bringing consensus together, enabling, getting execution. There's a lot of focus on let's get it done rather than just talk about it, right? So I truly believe that's where a lot of women will come in and can make the impact, is getting it over the finish line.
Yes. Awesome. That's great. I think we're in a very interesting time where women have started to come into this industry. We've been sort of trickling in. I feel like the ball has started to roll and it's gaining momentum pretty quickly. So it's very exciting to be involved in this right now. So, well, thank you for sharing your perspectives, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having us, and it was a pleasure meeting you as well.
Thank you, everybody.